Alright guys, so welcome to the critique for assignment 2.1, the bicycle model. This is for A&M 623, 3D Modeling and Animation 1. Um, so, an explanation. Generally, this is the way I like to do critiques. Um, uh, Rather than having me redundantly type the same information over and over and over for each one of you guys, I like to record a video critique for the entire class. And the reason I do that is because this is actually the way it's done if you were to take classes live on campus in San Francisco. Is when you show up to class, I have you guys upload all of your stuff to the instructor workstation, and then I project your stuff on the projector in front of the whole class, and I go through each and every one of your work. There's a couple of benefits to this. First of all, you guys are forced to listen to the critique for everybody, and what that means is that you information that you otherwise would have missed because you won't necessarily go through all of the critiques for everybody. You're forced to actually listen to it doing it this way. And I think it's beneficial to everybody. It's more beneficial to everybody. So with that, I'm just going to get started. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down the list in the order that you guys submitted things in the discussion for the assignment topic, and then we'll go from there. I may cut this up into a couple of different videos, just based on length, so that they're in like 10-minute bites, just for upload reasons. But otherwise, I'm just going to go through the entire class and give you guys each a critique, and then look for your grade posted separately. Okay. So with that, let's get started. So let's start with Jason Stansel. And if you look, I have Maya open, and I have Jason's model open in the viewport. So, it's not quite complete. Chains and the gear on the back, and some things like that. But overall, pretty good job. I mean, the spokes are really well done. And the scale and proportion is pretty well done. These gears are awesome. That's just the way you go about doing this, and same with this crank. Very, very well done. I will say that the handlebars, I think, are extremely narrow, as well as the seat is really flat. And also these front forks up here at the top, there's no support for them, so they would they probably wouldn't be built exactly that way. And this extrusion for this plastic piece is a little weird. Not sure why you would have all these ridges like this, but whatever. Maybe the plastic is done like that, but typically it would be smooth. So overall pretty well done. One thing that I wanted to check real quick is the dimensions of this, and let's see, we're talking about this is about 16 centimeters tall. Okay, so keep that in mind for later projects. that generally you always want to um, model your stuff to scale. Okay, so a bike is quite a bit taller than 16 centimeters, um, depending on the size of the bike and what kind of a bike it is. But it would be much larger than 16 centimeters tall or 15.8 centimeters tall. So just something to keep in mind. There's various reasons for that. Um, why you want to build things to scale, but if you build things to scale, you won't have problems later on. So anyway, otherwise, nicely done. Um, let's move on to Kelsey Finnegan. Okay, let's see, Finnegan right here. All right, so this appears to be a different sort of a bike. I would recommend um, looking at reference. So look at some photos and then try to emulate what the photos are going to be. I mean, this looks like it might be more stylized for more of a cartoony kind of a bike. Um, but good start. Um, these pedals are massive. Unless it's a little kid's bike and these handlebars are way too low, they would probably be more like up here somewhere. Um, and yeah, your proportions are generally just a bit off, but this is a good start. As you proceed, I would do some more things using the extrusion and extrude along a curve and things like that. I also noticed that when we go to the side view, your spokes aren't necessarily centered, and you have one spoke running all the way through the middle rather than two spokes splitting this into two, or having a spoke just only go halfway, as well as just a general lack of overall detail. But anyway, it's a good start. I'm glad you're getting used to the tools. Alright, so next, let's move on to Jonathan Brooks. Brooks bike. Right here. Okay, so once again, I think this is a good start as you start to get used to the tools. But I would look at reference. So reference is always key, even if you're doing cartoony looking stuff. In order just to ground your creations in reality. And I think the majority of how this bike is constructed are essentially primitives. I'd like you to start branching out and trying to use some additional tools like the extrude along a curve and the extrude tool in general is going to become your best friend. So anyway, that's a good start, but keep working at it. All right, so let's move on to Is it Ahmad Mustafa? All right, so we'll do one more, and then we'll pause for a break. So Ahmad Mustafa, let's see, where's your file? 21M. I think I need to unzip your file real quick, so let's go do that. There it is. Okay. Does it load up? Alright, so very well done. You know, nice attention to detail. Nice job on the spokes. You know, those spokes. Spokes generally though aren't four at a time like this, but you know it works. I think I would look at reference for your forks, and your seat is a little bit odd. You know, seats do come kind of like this, but again, I would look at some more reference. This geometry here is a little bit wonky. By wonky, I mean it's not. It's kind of. It's crooked. It's not straight. You have this kind of crooked curve. I'd say that your pedals are too large for the scale of your bicycle, and also your tires are very, very flat. So, you know, it's those things, attention to detail, that's gonna carry you a lot further. And you know, first pass learning the tools. I'd say good job, well done. So with that, why don't I stop? We'll take a break. I'll come back and we'll look at some more. So we'll see you in a minute.